Good evening, folks. My name is Robert Scott Perry. I'm from Portsmouth, Rhode Island. I love Portsmouth. I love Rhode Island. It's a great place to live, a great state, a great town. I'd like it to get better. One of the things we get to do is vote. If you don't vote, you don't count. Don't forget this, okay? If you don't vote, you don't matter. Get out there and vote. On September 9th, as Democrats, we get to choose who goes on the Democratic side of the ballot. In this state, that means that whoever gets to the Democratic side of the ballot usually gets to win. So I looked at the commercials, and that's what I'm going to be doing. When I see a commercial, I'm going to bring it to your attention, and I'm going to give you my opinion. You get to choose what you want to do, who you get to choose, or who you choose. Nellie was Assistant Secretary of State before 2006. It was some time ago, but she knows the rules. I wonder if she didn't happen to know that the Secretary of State's office keeps track of who the lobbyists are, that who gets a little name tag and who gets to walk into the General Assembly and directly bring up requests for investment by the General Assembly. Ralph Malus failed at that job very clearly. Ralph Malus is a failure as Secretary of State. He failed to protect our $75 million. What he said was, oops, there were no lobbyists for 38 Studios. Only we know that there were lobbyists for 38 Studios. How do we know that? They stole $75 million. Ralph Malus failed to protect us from the lobbyists who scammed us out of $75 million. Last year, the year before. It just happened. Of course, it happened 3 years ago, but it just happened. Nellie DeGorbia knew the rules. She was Assistant Secretary of State previous to that. You would have thought that if she was interested in the job, she would have checked out the fact that Ralph Malus was failing to keep track of who the lobbyists were for 38 Studios who robbed us of $75 million. I won't go on. I'll be back, though. I'm going to comment for the next 8 days as often as I can. I will take my information from the candidates themselves. She mentioned she was Assistant Secretary of State. I mentioned to you she should have known the rules. Therefore, she should have known that Ralph Malus failed to keep track of the lobbyists for 38 Studios who robbed $75 million right in front of all of our faces, including your face, Nellie. $75 million. Couldn't you have mentioned it to us? Maybe we could have stopped it. Maybe an experienced Assistant Secretary of State could have helped us, saved us from being robbed of $75 million. Ralph Malus failed. You, Nellie DeGorbia, should have known. You should have told us. It would have been nice. Talk to you soon.